Let me begin by saying that there is no democracy without transparency. It's also in these two very famous slogans, my money, my accounts, because government money is my money. So I need to know what my money is being used for so that I can monitor my accounts.
On the World Humanitarian Day, the CSR Journal brings for you an exclusive conversation with a woman whose life embodies service, courage, and people's power. A Ramon Magsaysay Awardee, social activist, and a driving force behind Right to Information movement in India, Aruna Roy. She has dedicated her life for the upliftment of the most marginalized people in India. My first question would be, today RTI has become a major tool for empowerment. How did the idea shape in your journey?
In the spirit of inquiry, the active questioning is vital. So what the right to information actually amounted to was legitimizing the act of questioning, but it didn't begin with a theory. It began with very poor people in Rajsamand district in Rajasthan asking to know what was there in their muster rolls, their bills and vouchers, because it led to the denial of their minimum wage. The act of empowerment, which is universal, has to begin with a question. You can ask for wages, you can ask about records, you can ask about judicial issues, you can talk about legislative issues, you can talk about the functioning of government, you can talk about exams. So the act of questioning is a question to power, and asking power to be accountable, power to actually dismantle itself or unpack itself. There is a saying that information is power, and it's absolutely true. So the dissemination of information became the dissemination of power. Let me begin by saying that there is no democracy without transparency. You'll ask me why. The essential definition of a democracy is the electoral system and the vote to power. So the right to information helped me in a very practical way to express that sovereignty, and everywhere. Not only in terms of what we all think is parliament or big power, but including the ration dealer, the midwife, the government system that dispenses medicines. Everywhere I have that right. So it became a universal right, and therefore it took the country by storm.
Was there a defining moment when you thought the power of transparency in governance?
Actually, there is no such thing as a defining moment anywhere in my life. It's cumulative questioning and an organic process that leads you to an understanding. By 7 years in the IAS, where everyone was very careful, wanted impunity and secrecy at all levels, did not want information disclosed even when it was of benefit to the people, led me to understand why the system doesn't want transparency at all. And I understood even more when I went to work with the poor that any kind of transparency would lead to an impact on their graft, on their corruption, on their misuse of power, on their lack of ethics, and maybe lead even to punishment and cases against them and recovery of money. So transparency is vital for a government to be a good government. So the system of transparency and accountability is not new. We didn't discover it. It's been discovered and used all over the world. But the fact that Indian poor really emphasized and drew up the idea of transparency and accountability has become a very powerful tool in this country. That's why today between 40 to 60 lakh users use RTI in this country, despite all that has been done to destabilize it. Just recently, 3 days ago in Madurai, 2,000 RTI users assembled to make sure that RTI and its use goes on judicial and accountable lines. It's also in these two very famous slogans, my money, my accounts, because government money is my money. So I need to know what my money is being used for so that I can monitor my accounts.
In today's scenario, do you think that the power of RTI has been diluted or curtailed?
There is a new law called the DPAPA, which is trying to curtail the expanse of the RTI and to make any right to information application liable to be prosecuted because it asks for third-party information.
What message would you like to give to people who think that change is not possible?
You say, what would you recommend to those who say that change is not possible? I would say it's whoever says that change is not possible, I feel that that person doesn't want to work for change. Change is not instantaneous. It's not instant coffee. It's not instant gratification. Change comes through a process, and that process demands hard work, it demands application, it demands consistency, and it demands the ability to take negatives, ability to take failures, build from those, and keep carrying on. And I would say that anyone who says that they think that no change is possible, I would just recommend to them just to walk out of the house and see what you can do. If you do that little thing, it will add up to a big, massive change in the country.
Today, as we celebrate the World Humanitarian Day, Aruna Roy reminds us that change is inevitable. And change happens when ordinary people dare to ask a question. Her journey is an example that transparency is not just a law, it's a lifeline of democracy. We at CSR Journal hope that her interview is an inspiration for many more who believe that hope is difficult but not inevitable. Signing off, Swapna with the CSR Journal.